So ayan guys, good morning sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat po sa patuloy na panonood sa aking munting channel. So today is Sunday and kasama namin yung anak ng asawa ko, yung pangatlo. And then, ayun, nag-search ako ng mga place na pwede naming puntahan kasi weekend naman, tapos alangan naman ano lang tayo, higa-higa lang tayo sa bahay. Dapat sulitin din natin yung mga weekend na wala tayong ginagawa. May school ako, may work yung asawa ko, tapos yung anak niya school din. So, we have to do something. So, ayan, we decided to go to somewhere around, ano siya guys, Alborg. Hindi rin masyadong kalayuan dito sa place namin. At samahan nyo kami. Ipakakita ko na lang sa inyo, i-update ko na lang kayo mamaya, okay? Thank you so much for watching and stay. Dalawa ni Mister, kasi ayaw sumama ng anak niya. Gusto niya daw driving. So, siguro pupunta din kami ng store pagkatapos namin. I don't know. Unahin siguro namin pumunta ng store bago kami pupunta doon sa pupuntahan namin. Kung napapansin nyo guys, kapag ka nagsasalita ako, no? Para akong hinahabol ng aso. Feeling ko kasi, yung time is siya, very precious. Kaya, wala akong pinapalampas talaga ng oras. Ang bilis-bilis ko talaga magsalita pag ako yung nagva-vlog. Kahit sa totoong buhay, mabilis din ako magsalita. Ganito lang talaga. Kaya change lang ako ng jacket. Super windy. My gosh. So this is the Lindholm Høje, village life and material evidence at one time. Lindholm Høje had at least 2 separate villages, and the ridge probably hides more villages. The oldest settlement was found north of Lindholm Høje, and was dated from the 700s until about the year 800. The settlement contained 5 wells with the fine conditions for preserving wood and bone. Several longhouses and over 20 huts were buried with many traces of textile productions. The site of the youngest village was south of the boreal site, and here by this sign, all those traces guys, those lines over there, the numerous cement blocks mark the posts and walls of the village houses. The longhouses follow each other in the chronological order, and people lived here from about the end of the 900s and up to the beginning of the I suppose. The drifting sand has protected the original refuse layers and revealed impressive finds from everyday life in the villages. And during this time period, guys, when people die or any of the warrior died, then they actually cremated those person together with their either dogs or pets, but normally it's a dog together with them. And normally it's through cremation. So those stones over right there, if it is sheep-like, then it indicates that the person that was buried there was a man. And if it is like a circle, like no curves or anything, then that burial is actually the person that was buried there is actually a woman. So we can find here several hundreds probably, and they're just different shapes, small, big, huge ones, different shapes of stones. Nobody can explain why the stones were different. It's not in the same looking or different shapes, but maybe that's how they wanted to design. Lindholm, Høje has been a final resting place for almost 600 years. The oldest graves are from the late Iron Age in the 400s, and the youngest are from the Viking Age in the 900s. The oldest graves are at the top of the grave area. The deceased were buried under small mounds and in a few cases were surrounded by stones. The youngest graves are the lower outer edge of the grave site. At that time, graves were usually surrounded by stones, but then the traditional of cremating bodies was introduced. This tradition becomes by far the most common, and not until the 900s did the practice of cremation stop and bodies were once again buried intact, probably due to Christian influences. Throughout prehistoric times, Lindfjord remained an important thoroughfare for the travelers to and from the Nordic countries. In the Viking Age, the fjord was also the departure point for raids to England and the rest of Europe. In those days, ships could easily sail up Lindholm stream to Lindholm, Høje. The sandy soil here was easy to farm but also vulnerable to sand drift. Several times a year, strong storms devastated the area, threatening the crops in the fields and meadows where the animals grazed. By around 1100, the sand had drifted so badly that Lindholm Høje was deserted. As uncovered the stones, interest in the area warmed until the end of the 1800s. ayan guys, kakarating lang namin ng bahay. Tapos na kaming gumala. Tapos pumunta din kami ng store. May nabili nga pala kaming stuff sa store kanina. Masyado siyang windy sa labas. Kaya hindi kami masyadong nagstay ng matagalan talaga. At yung asawa ko ay medyo frustrated siya kasi kasi yung sasakyan may nakabangga na naman. Tapos dito kasi normally kapag nakabangga ka ng sasakyan, kahit galos lang yan, ang mahal kasi ng bayad. Nung una na nabangga yung sasakyan namin, siya, nasa sa 3,000 siguro yung nabayaran ng lalaki. Bata na driver, kakakuha lang niya ng kanyang lisensya. So, medyo mahal talaga. Tapos pag kami yung bagbayad, syempre mahal din. Hindi naman namin kasalanan. Kaya lang ang problema, wala namang nag-iwan ng mensahe na ako yung nakabangga, ganyan. Kasi normal yan sa kanila dito eh. Hindi tulad sa atin. Hit and run na, lagan pa. Pero ang nakasayop lang is, wajud may kabalog, kinsa ang nakahit ana. So, sayang. Yeah. Grabe kayo ni siya kakuan ka. Seryoso kayo ni siya pag abot sa sakyanan. Kung naigalos. Kay lisod man gud siyang ibaligya, pananglitan, puhon-puhon, o mag-ilis magsakyanan. Inigbaligya, mubaba ang iyahang presyo kung na siya diferensya. So, kinahanglanon gyud siya nga i-fix. So, muna, frustrated kayo siya. So, mo to nakapalit mig kuan guys, nakapalit mig vacuum, tapos tong usap nga electric nga amo ang napalit nga usap. Tapos nakagala pa mi. So, maura na mong weekend.